The papyrus, put it on my table every month. I don't wanna be sad. Don't even try to hide it. No, I don't wanna lose it. And you say how it is, it's so inviting. The papyrus, we're all so alive. The papyrus.
We bring you the Papyrus TV news update. You're welcome. The headlines. Tinubu intervenes in Lagos Assembly crisis as Obasa meets president. PDP moves to expel Anyanwu amid leadership crisis. Obasanjo slams Tinubu over Lagos-Calabar Highway, VP's new residence. ABGA founder urges Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu. Wike dismisses fears over Rivers crisis, questions militant threats. Pandef urges Tinubu to intervene in Rivers crisis. Federal High Court denies reports on Nnamdi Kanu case reassignment. Now the details. President Bola Tinubu has stepped into the ongoing crisis within the Lagos State House of Assembly, which recently saw the impeachment and reinstatement of Speaker Mudashiru Obasa. On Wednesday, March 12, 2025, Obasa and other assembly members met with Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. Following the closed-door meeting, lawmakers were heard chanting, "On your mandate we shall stand," signaling their loyalty to the president. The meeting follows weeks of political turmoil in the assembly. Obasa was impeached but reinstated on March 3, 2025, after interventions from key stakeholders, including the All Progressives Congress (APC) and the Governing Advisory Council (GAC). Although Obasa declined to comment after the meeting, the visit is believed to be either a thank you gesture for the president's intervention or an attempt to resolve lingering tensions. Despite his reinstatement, divisions persist within the assembly, leaving the political situation unsettled. Meanwhile, the internal crisis within the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has deepened as the party's disciplinary committee has recommended the expulsion of its embattled National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu. The committee submitted its report on Wednesday during a National Working Committee (NWC) meeting presided over by PDP National Chairman, Ambassador Umar Damagum. Anyanwu was accused of gross misconduct and anti-party activities but failed to appear before the committee to defend himself. Security operatives, including the Department of State Services (DSS) and police, were deployed to the PDP headquarters in Abuja after clashes broke out between party staff and Anyanwu's supporters, who reportedly attempted to disrupt the NWC meeting. The PDP maintains that Anyanwu is no longer its national secretary, citing a Court of Appeal ruling in Enugu on December 20, 2024, which upheld his removal and confirmed Honorable Sunday Ude Okoye as his replacement. While Anyanwu has appealed to the Supreme Court, the verdict is still pending. This latest development highlights the ongoing leadership struggle within the PDP as factions battle for control of key positions ahead of the future elections. Continuing, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has strongly criticized President Bola Tinubu over the 15.6 trillion naira Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, calling it wasteful, corrupt, and a misplaced priority. Obasanjo made these remarks in Chapter 6 of his new book, Nigeria, Past and Future, unveiled during his 88th birthday celebration. He also condemned the administration's decision to spend 21 billion naira on a new residence for the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, despite Nigeria's economic struggles. Assessing Tinubu's 2 years in office, Obasanjo accused Nigerian leaders of being unprepared and self-serving, claiming that many top officials prioritize personal enrichment over national development. He argued that corruption and mismanagement continue to deepen poverty across the country. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, a flagship project of the Tinubu administration, has faced criticism from opposition figures and analysts over its cost and execution, with concerns about transparency and economic impact. In another development, Chekwas Okorie, founder of the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA), has renewed calls for President Bola Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra (IPOB). Okorie argued that Kanu has suffered significantly since his extradition from Kenya in 2021 and urged Tinubu to facilitate his release, particularly in light of recent judicial developments. He suggested that the president could instruct the Attorney General to discontinue the case through a nolle prosequi, effectively ending Kanu's prosecution. Okorie emphasized that Kanu's prolonged detention has caused distress among the Igbo people and asserted that his release would have economic and security benefits for the Southeast. He also framed the move as a potential political strategy for Tinubu. The renewed demand follows similar appeals from groups like Ohaneze Ndigbo, which argues that if former President Muhammadu Buhari could pardon Boko Haram fighters, Tinubu has the authority to release Kanu. However, the federal government has so far maintained its stance on prosecuting him. Moving on, Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, has downplayed concerns that impeaching Rivers State Governor Siminala Ifubara would lead to instability. Speaking on the ongoing political crisis in the state, Wike insisted that impeachment is a constitutional process and should not be feared if there are valid grounds. He also mocked claims that Niger Delta militants would react violently to any impeachment attempt, questioning the legitimacy of such threats. Wike specifically dismissed the notion that only Ijaw people are capable of disrupting pipelines, arguing that other ethnic groups in the Niger Delta, such as the Ogoni and Ikwere, also have such capabilities. Wike further criticized the leadership of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, accusing the group of being politically and financially motivated in its shifting stance on President Bola Tinubu's involvement in the Rivers crisis. He also condemned Governor Fubara's approach to resolving the conflict, calling his public letter to the State House of Assembly ineffective and insulting. Additionally, the minister expressed doubts about the feasibility of local government elections in Rivers State scheduled for August 2025, citing concerns over the refusal of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission chairman to appear before the assembly. Furthermore, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, has called on President Bola Tinubu to urgently resolve the political crisis in Rivers State, warning that the conflict between Nyesom Wike and Governor Siminala Ifubara poses a major threat to stability. At a meeting in Abuja, PANDEF, led by King Alfred Dieter Spiff, expressed concern that the prolonged dispute is affecting governance and the economy of the oil-rich region. Despite Tinubu's mediation efforts, the crisis persists due to conflicting court rulings. The group urged the president to push for a negotiated political settlement outside the courts to prevent further escalation. Conclusively, the Federal High Court has refuted reports alleging that the new judge assigned to Nnamdi Kanu's case has withdrawn from the trial. Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, John Toho, reassigned Kanu's case after the IPOB leader repeatedly requested that Justice Binta Nyako recuse herself. On February 10, Nyako indefinitely adjourned the case due to Kanu's insistence that she could no longer preside over it. On March 8, Kanu's lawyer Aloy Ejimako confirmed receiving two separate letters from Chief Justice of Nigeria CJN Kudirat Kekere-Ekun and Toho informing him of the reassignment. However, false reports later emerged online claiming that Toho was personally handling the case and had withdrawn from it further alleging that Kanu's arrest was unlawful. In response, Chief Registrar of the Federal High Court, Suleiman Hassan, dismissed the claims as entirely unfounded, fictitious, and grossly mischievous. The Honorable Justice Toho, in his capacity as Chief Judge, has reassigned Nnamdi Kanu's case from Justice Binta Nyako to another judge. The reports suggesting otherwise are totally spurious, Hassan stated. He urged the public to seek official information from the court's information department and warned against deliberate misinformation aimed at eroding confidence in the judiciary. Kanu's defense team is now awaiting further instruction from the new judge.
The papyrus, hoodie on my table, every